take this 30 grand, I'm gonna pay cash, I'm gonna look like a real baller. Does that make sense? Hi, I'm Jeremy, a finance wizard that makes motorcycles appear in your garage. You are walking around one day, you got $30,000 in your pockets. You're feeling cool, you are the coolest cat around. You walk into a power sports store feeling like a ninja. I'm gonna buy a motorcycle today, I'm gonna buy a four-wheeler, and I'm gonna go have a good time. I'm gonna take this 30 grand, I'm gonna pay cash, I'm gonna look like a real baller. Does that make sense? Should you buy a depreciating asset, meaning a motorcycle you're gonna buy and it's gonna be worth less and less and less, with cash that you work hard to put in your pockets? The answer is no, dummy. You shouldn't do that.
Huh?
What you should do is invest that money, and let me tell you why. So the difference between a loan, a decreasing interest loan, not meaning the rate is going to change, but meaning every payment I make, I'm going to be paying less and less interest, versus an invested loan is huge. And once you understand this concept, it is fantastic. It is compounded interest. So let me explain to you a quick example, and I'm gonna scare you first. So let's say I buy a $30,000 toy, whether it be a motorcycle or a side-by-side or anything. That's kind of expensive for toys, so let's go with that. And I'm gonna take it on a 10-year financing. You're gonna say, no, Jeremy, you're crazy. 10 years is forever. Stay with me for a second. And I'm gonna finance that toy at 8.99%. Again, you're gonna be like, oh no, you're crazy. Guys, the years of like 2% and that stuff, it's done. Get over it. We're paying higher interest. It's a leisure vehicle, whatever. I am going to tell you that that vehicle in interest is going to cost you over the 10 years, so a $30,000 vehicle is going to cost you a touch over $15,000 in interest. Do you want to pay that? So the short answer is no, you don't want to be paying $15,000 of interest. So that's why you're paying your machine cash, right? Wrong, don't do that. Here is why you should place the money. So every time I make a payment on that 10 years, every payment is split between interest and capital, meaning there is a portion of the capital that is going to reducing my debt, and there's a portion of interest that goes towards paying my agreement. So every time I make a payment, well, the next payment, I have a little less interest and a little bit more capital. So at the beginning, there's a lot of interest on the payment, and at the end, there's very little interest on the payment because there's very little capital remaining. If I took that $30,000 that I had originally to buy that motorcycle, and I put that invested, so an RSP or anything like that, over a 10-year span, expecting a 6% return isn't out of the question. You would say, okay, but you're paying 8.99% and you're only making 6%, you're losing, right? No, you're wrong again. Why? Because compounded interest, my friend. And the difference is once I put that $30,000 in, it's invested, well, the next month, if I made a little bit of money on that, well, that little bit of money is also going to accumulate interest. So then that also compounds, versus the other one I'm paying less and less interest. Here I'm making more and more interest on every payment. So the same amount, so the same 10-year, the same $30,000 invested, if I have a 6% annual gain average over that 10 years, I'm looking where that $30,000 is gonna make me about $25,000 to $26,000.
All right.
Crazy, right? So taking that $30,000 and investing it and taking the money and financing the vehicle, I'm gonna pay $15,000 of interest here, but I'm gonna make $25,000 here. So I'm still $10,000 ahead, right? So that's why you should take your cash and use it. Use it as an investment to make more money versus buying something that is going to be worth less and less. The only time where this would not apply is payments. So if you're loaded in payments and you don't want that extra payment, then I understand that you're paying it cash, but do understand that making that payment allows you to take that money and invest it. And I am only talking about interest gain. I'm not even talking about the fact that if I invest $30,000 in a year and I put it in an RSP, well, I could reduce my tax. So I'm gonna have a tax saving there, and I'm gonna tack it on the end as well. Money invested is money over time. Money invested is money over time, right? The longer I leave it invested, the more money that there's gonna be in there. That's the usual math. That's the way it works out, right? So buying that depreciating asset with cash, although you would think is the logical thing to do, in practicality, investing your money makes way more sense. Right? So make sure, finance that machine for as long as you can, enjoy it, put the money away, and then you'll have way more at the end of the day. So after it's been 10 years and I have made you another $10,000, take that money and reinvest, you dummy, and then come and finance a new machine.